SM90 race number 1 gets about to get underway. The flag goes up and we are underway. Riley Dexter makes a fantastic getaway. Trouble on the line though for Harvey Brooks, and Rue Booth makes a slow getaway as well. No problems at all though for Riley Dexter, who goes charging through on the line. Looks like they got number 119 getting him back underway. Great start there for Riley Dexter as Harvey Brooks splutters off the line and gets back into the action. Riley Dexter leading though. George Bartle, Rue Booth after that slow getaway. Looks like Ollie Brooks in there as well. They make their way around the back of the circuit, but a great start there for Riley Dexter. Harvey Brooks very slow off the line, had some bike trouble on the start line, but let's see how he gets.
Wrote it too quickly and bogs down.
One of our front runners. He's had some trouble this weekend, so he's enjoying his chips and gravy, I think, with a bit of cheese thrown in.
Cheese and gravy. That's sloppy messing.
Today it's just been raining. I felt really confident when I went out in the practice, and I got the best lap time. But in qualifying, I got the
the end of the first lap. Then Riley Dexter, your race leader,
really
charging through at the front and looking in good form.
Rue
Booth, great start here in second place. Number 86, George Bartle.
That's the problem. I think obviously a lot of people
George
don't run
Bartle in third, Harvey Brooks, Ollie Brooks running out the field.
So just talking, yeah. So you just you got some don't run air filters, so you just doesn't restrict that airflow. But obviously in these conditions, when you got wet weather, a lot of rain, you get that water in the carburetor, and the bikes just don't like it.
Yeah, yeah. My dad's been spraying it with WD-40 and stuff like that, but it's still out of the corners. It's just bogging. So, but I managed to pull a second in qualifying, so I hope I can keep it through both the races.
It's a good experience, isn't it, riding these conditions?
Yeah, I've rode in the wet once, I think, but other than that, I've not really had much experience with it. And today I've come out and I've really enjoyed it in the wet.
Good man. Good luck today.
Riley Dexter, look. So here we go with Harvey Brooks making his way through to second place, according to the lap charts. It's had a great start after that poor start to the race. Riley Dexter charging away at the front, so Rue Booth seems to have dropped down a bit. Looks like where Rue Booth is, and she's just been lapped actually by Riley Dexter, so it looks like George Bartle has also gone through third place. Ollie Brooks and Rue Booth rounding up the field, but Riley Dexter, your race leader, number 860, looking in great form as he makes his way around the final corner. That looks like Ollie Brooks just in front. Oh, as Riley Dexter changes his line there, nips around the outside of Ollie Brooks. Rue Booth now dropping to 5th position. And there we see number 21, the third place rider, George Bartle, making his way through the hairpin. At the moment, though, Riley Dexter is in a race of his own, really charging away at the front. A bit further behind, though, we just saw Ollie Brooks going through. And your second place man, Harvey Brooks, making his way through in second position. Here we see the number 21 of George Bartle making his way through these very tough conditions. Riley Dexter is charging away at the front. Harvey Brooks just gone through in second place from George Bartle. The rider in shot here, number 21, who is still in third position. And there we see Bartle. He's about to be caught, though, by the current race leader who's making his way around the back of the circuit. There we see Ruby Booth, who's currently in 5th position, number 86. Coming into the final corner, though, is number 860, Riley Dexter, your race leader, who goes through to complete another lap. Dexter looking in good form. And there we see the third place rider, George Bartle, who goes a lap down incredibly. It just goes to show how quickly Riley Dexter is going, and of course, the other thing, of course, Matt, for these riders is even the ones further down, the likes of Ruby Booth, who's gone through to 4th actually from Ollie Brooks. They're all going to be having a good experience out here in the wet conditions and getting some good points as well.
Just having fun. They're there to have fun and enjoy it, you know. And they've come here to have a bit of a giggle. They come here to have a bit of fun this weekend, and regardless of the weather, they're out there having a giggle and they're out there having a laugh. And you know, Harvey's just going around that last right-hander, and he's not hanging about. And so yeah, that's what it's all about, really. Come down here, have a bit of fun.
So Harvey Brooks, despite stalling on the line, he's fought his way through quite well. He's running a good pace, actually, 1:14 on that previous lap. He is quite some distance down from Riley Dexter, but there we see 1:19, Harvey Brooks, the second place rider, running strongly in that second position. Rue Booth has moved back up to 4th place. He dropped to 5th earlier on, but is that Ollie Brooks closing up, I believe? Looks like it is. So number 19, Ollie Brooks, starting to close up. This is the battle for 4th place as Rue Booth makes her way through towards the chicane. Ollie Brooks now back on the pace. Riley Dexter, meanwhile, is all on his own at the front.
Just looking at these new riders in the grid, it shows that we're gonna this Bambino grid obviously a bit slightly depleted today with the conditions and everything else, and so, but it looks like the Bambino grid is going to be really, really big. I know that we've got quite a few bikes have been ordered, ready for the winter series to start. So you got the Brooks brothers there coming down and having a bit of a blast, and so I think next season we'll have some decent sized grids for the Bambinos, and people are seeing it as a really decent, cost-effective way to take our first step into racing.
Certainly the Bambino's interest, although we have got a depleted grid today, it's certainly not representative of the grid at normal rounds. You see a lot more riders on the grid, but of course conditions today are a bit difficult. Hats off to the riders who are out there competing in these tough conditions, though, it has to be said. As Riley Dexter, meanwhile, making his way around the final corner and will take the one-lap board. He has been all on his own at the front. And Riley Dexter looking absolutely fantastic as he crosses the line. So George Wood, I don't believe he's in this one by the looks of things. Harvey Brooks still in second place here. We see, well, we just saw briefly Ollie Brooks, I think, may have got past Rue Booth, who's there. That's number 86. And your race leader, Riley Dexter, all on his own, charging away at the front. Harvey Brooks is still in second place, starting to catch up on the tail enders. So coming around the final corner, we just saw Rue Booth, George Bartle. Rue Booth actually moving into 3rd place. So there goes the novice rider, number 21, George Bartle, who's dropped to 4th. Ollie Brooks still running up the field in 5th place. Meanwhile, we're looking at the race leader now, Riley Dexter, who is all on his own at the front, looking very strong indeed, making his way through the final chicane and round this final hairpin. He's done all the hard work, and Riley Dexter is going to close in and take the victory in the first race of the day for Junior SM90. Pit by Betts, of course, coming up shortly. And Riley Dexter must be pleased with that win. And there we see, you can just see how windswept the officials are down there. Very difficult conditions today here at Rowrah, and full credit, of course, has to go out to not only the riders, but the likes of the marshals. Medics will be out there as well, should the worst happen. We won't need them today, of course. And the cameramen, the people behind the lens you see here. And they've got a very difficult job today in tough conditions. So Riley Dexter goes through, and of course, George Bartle, Ollie Brooks lapped again, which means that Rue Booth will most likely, she's still coming around now, she'll be credited with 3rd place. So that's off to Rue Booth there with 3rd position.
There's a podium. She absolutely chuffed to bits on that one.
And like you were saying, she's another one of the new riders.
Yeah, brand new. I think this is a 2nd or 3rd race weekend ever.
So Harvey Brooks goes through in 2nd, and Rue Booth was a lap adrift, but finishes in 3rd place. George Bartle, coming around the final corner, will finish in 4th position. Was running in 3rd for a bit, but Booth got through. But there is the man of the race, Riley Dexter. Of course, that's well known for motorsports, of course, especially karting and mini motos, mini bikes. BMB's first ever visit as the SM90s get underway. But yeah, 3 sisters, of course. That was went down quite successfully, so I heard.
Yeah. We had we ran 2 different track variations. We did a big long one, which is the long sweeping right-hander across the top of the hill, which is so quick. You know, I was running 17:39, and topping that out. And yeah, the bike was motoring, but it was scurrying away. Oh, someone's down.
That's George Bartle, I think, went down.
Yeah.
Looks like he's all right, though. He's going to get back on the bike and sort himself out. Although might need some assistance maybe, but let's hope he's had a good day so far, hasn't he, George Bartle?
So I can see the parents are running to his aid at the moment.
Let's hope we can get him back in the race. But yeah, Three Sisters very much seems to hit with the riders.
Oh, it's brilliant. I absolutely loved it. I had a brilliant day. Had a massive crash, but it was brilliant. And we ran the big circuit, and then we ran a smaller infield circuit. And I think that would be the preference of a lot of the riders. Again, I was running 1639, and that gearing seemed absolutely perfect. So it shows how quick it was and how fast and how sweeping it was. Really, really grippy track, really, really good. Great facilities. It was a great track, really good.
So some of these riders coming into the fold after their very first race, of course, after Three Sisters, and what an introduction in these tough conditions. Harvey Brooks going through in second place with George Wood in third, Rue Booth in fourth. Oh, somebody else has gone down, I think, or I think it's still George Bartle. Riley Dexter, of course, still charging away. Ollie Brooks coming around the final corner, moves on to fifth place, but Riley Dexter charging away at the front, looking very strong as he goes down the back straight. Harvey Brooks and George Wood. Rue Booth still in fourth place.
George Bartle's back up and running again now.
So Bartle back in the race. And you have to say full credit to these young riders for getting out there. Some of these are very much novices as well. They've only just pretty much only picked up a bike, and we've seen how tough the conditions are even for some of the more established riders.
Yeah.
There's some very experienced riders coming to grief this afternoon.
Absolutely, and they're out there racing and finishing.
So they're still getting around there, which is... And Riley Dexter, look at him go around the final corner. He's charging through, and 106.3 that time around. It's only a few seconds down on the front runners in the
Seniors.
CRFs and the seniors, of course.
Yeah, I won't say the CRFs, but definitely the seniors.
Definitely the seniors, lapping just around the 1 minute mark. So
I think I'll be lapping around about that. Again, I'm a bit long in the tooth, and I'm not a fan of the wet, if we're honest.
So there we see, that looks like George Wood in there as well. Rue Booth a bit further down. George Bartle back underway. There is George Wood, the third place. Oh, he runs a bit wide on the hairpin, but got the apex a bit wrong there, but saves it and stays out of trouble. So George Wood looking for third so far, because George Bartle, of course, in last place. He goes through, finally completes his first lap, which, of course, 2 minutes 56. Bearing in mind he's been down for quite a while, so still back in the race. And
back up and running, smiling and enjoying himself. That's the most important thing.
And who knows, 5 laps to go, he still might catch up with Ollie Brooks or Rue Booth, possibly. So Bartle back in the race. And here we see the third place rider, George Wood, who's looking good in third position, as Dexter goes charging through. Now we're going to look at George Wood here, because he's closing up slightly on Harvey Brooks in second place. We'll have a look at the lap times when they go through, but not much in it between second and third place. Harvey Brooks goes around the final corner. There we see George Wood in third place, and we'll look at the gap. It's not very much at all between second and third, although Brooks pulls away slightly, 4.2 seconds between second and third place. Here we see Rue Booth going through. Ruby Booth. Oh no, but Riley Dexter's gone down. The race leader, Riley Dexter. Now let's see if he's got the bike. Yeah, he's kept it running.
Sprinting to his aid. I think he's got the bike back up and running again.
So fortunately for Riley Dexter, he kept the engine running and stays in the lead. Look, yeah, because Harvey Brooks just coming into that hairpin. There's Rue Booth, who's in fourth place. Oh, but even the best of them going down there, because Riley Dexter's looked absolutely unstoppable today. But down he goes. Although he is back on the bike. Harvey Brooks then still in second place, although has been closed in a little bit.
Definitely a little bit slower around that last right-hander. I think he's just taking a little bit easy on this one now.
So Riley Dexter leads, of course. Big dent in that lead with Harvey Brooks now. Cuts it down to 7.7 seconds. Harvey Brooks second. George Wood still there in third place, hanging on in there. Although Brooks is pulling away slightly. Rue Booth coming around the final corner now in fourth position. Number 86, Ollie Brooks, and George Bartle just a little bit further behind. And there we see 119, the second place rider, Harvey Brooks, going down the back straight. And we've seen the riders are doing incredibly well, especially our novices in this race. We've got 2 or 3 riders, as we were saying before the start of the race, they are only novices, and even Riley Dexter went down there. So just goes to show, oh, there we see, there's George Bartley still going. There he is with the novice bib on.
Just
Brooks goes around the outside.
We just had a comment come through in regards to bikes and scrutineering and fair play. This weekend, unfortunately, our chief scrutineer isn't here with us because it's his wedding anniversary, his first wedding anniversary, so I think that's a good excuse. But usually we, every winning bike gets pulled off the track and gets dynoed. And so they have to come underneath a certain horsepower limit. And talking about Riley's bike in particular, he's never been picked up as being over the limit. I think he's just a very, very talented rider.
Has to be said, he is flying around at the moment. Riley Dexter looking in top form today and recovering well from that spill as well. Of course, would have been very easy for him to lose concentration. But let's have a look at the lap times here, because he is starting to pick the pace up again. Despite that fall, there's 2 laps to go in this race, and there we see the best laps for the riders in each of their individual best laps.
And also with these bikes as well, it's about momentum. It's about carrying that corner speed and carrying that drive out of the corner. You know, and that's where you get because they haven't got the power. You know, they haven't got the power, and so you've got to get that drive. You've got to carry that momentum through, and that's where you get the legs down the straight.
And certainly this seems the case with, when you look at the likes of Dexter going, he takes the last step board now, actually. I mean, and I've done a bit of the Sodi rental karting in the past, and that's very similar. The carts lose power so easily, and as much as anything, it's just a case of trying to keep the momentum as much as you can to keep it smooth, because as soon as he starts slipping and sliding.
And if you look at Riley, apart from that crash, he is smooth. He is so smooth. So even in these horrible wet conditions, he is really, really smooth.
So despite that,
Riley, please.
Yeah, that's Riley Dexter, who has now been jinxed. So if he finishes the race now, it'll be an absolute miracle, because Matt has put the curse on him.
So I need to stop that.
He has picked up the pace there, 107.163 last time round, so he's pretty much on the pace he was where he dropped it. So Riley Dexter closing in on victory, led the race by 15 seconds from Harvey Brooks in second last time round. Rue Booth goes through in 4th place, and she's still charging through. Riley Dexter closing in on victory. 2 more corners to go, and that looks like Ollie Brooks just ahead, who may just about squeeze through. So Ollie Brooks goes through in 5th place, but Riley Dexter takes the checkered flag. And just been handed a note there, Riley Dexter winning for his granddad, Shane Dexter, who we're told will be extremely proud of him. So well done to Riley Dexter taking the win.